really how this pattern of this vortex is able to constantly transform itself, constantly ascend like the helix of the DNA. And as we are transforming and alchemizing, we are growing and we're expanding. We are learning from what we've created, and we are creating new by changing and transforming and alchemizing. So this is something, again, that we can take with us like a tool, and it is the pattern of the vortex, the pattern of the nature of this universe to create this helical, spiraling upward motion, to move upwards and forwards through the use of changing our patterns, changing what it is that we're doing, and allowing that motion to be as fluid as it can be from our heart space, and also enabling that vortex energy to guide us, to almost be the wind that carries our sail of your ship forward. So this is something that, once again, is almost like a template that of this universe we can align with. And as we align with this template of this universe, we can obviously expect to be more and more in alignment, right? So everything in this universe is spinning and vortexing. So to stagnate in the same patterns over and over again is not in alignment with the motions of this universe, which is yourself, the projection from your innermost being of God, source, creator, consciousness that you are. So to align with this change, this transformation, constantly in a way that is fluid and feels aligned, is always going to be what this universe is going to carry you through, and also something that you can almost count on, that motion, that spiraling energy that transforms what was into a new form of expression and then converges into new creative possibilities, potentials. So this is a way that we can alchemize things, and a way that we can look at even healing and transformation. And obviously in the past videos that I've made on this channel, I've talked a lot about AI and the entities, and again, I want to make sure that no one is in fear. It's just something that we really have to be mindful of at this time, of course, and to really look at it as a catalyst, as I've mentioned, of expansion. Look at it as a catalyst to expand yourself and your consciousness, and to bring you more and more towards what feels right for your soul. And what I mean by that is, anytime that we feel sometimes blockages or things that are happening around us that may not be aligned with what we know in our hearts to be the truth, we can look at this experience, and what we can look at is the lessons. And this is such an important point that I feel I want to stress in this video, is how we can work with not only that template of the vortex to transform and ascend our energies and our path and shift potentials and timelines by really changing what we're doing and being in that fluid transformational state, But another way to look at it is questioning whether or not we are learning through what we're doing. So really, in order to make that next step, it is about integrating something that you have created for yourself, and learning whether or not that is something that is in alignment, and if there is anything that needs adjusting and transforming, it's transforming that and moving more and more and more towards that fluid state. So again, as I've discussed in the past videos about protection and AI, this is also something that I feel is very, very important to discuss regarding protection and clearing, as sometimes some of the patterns that we are so accustomed to, even in our own inner work and clearing, things that we may have tried and worked with regards to calling in protection or doing healings on ourselves. Some of these things may need to be looked at from a higher perspective in order to, say, be transformed into something that is more efficient. So, as an example of this, I used to call in a very, very extended form of spiritual protection, and over time I have transformed and tweaked and changed that form of protection that I call in, so that it is more expansive, that it includes different crystals like shungite, hematite, argonite, golden sparkling tetrahedrons, golden sparkling spheres around my energy field. I also put up a shield of deflection. So over time I've learned and been able to really integrate what I've learned. And I think that's really what it's about, is in order to make that next step, it's how can I integrate what I've learned. And really, once you step into integrating that, is when I believe you can really shift things and not fall back into these loops and cycles. So it's going to allow you to not move far beyond these entities and the trauma from the collective, from ancestral line, and really move very, very quickly. The energies on the planet really have, I would say, start to reach that point of infinite consciousness that I feel is accessible to all of us now. I feel really very, very strong pulse of this infinite golden age consciousness, and I think more and more this has been accessible because of the level of transformation, inner transformation, that we are all undergoing. And again, to speak more about the AI entities, contracts, and that sort of thing that I've been speaking about and have been making a series of videos on, I really think that when we do feel like we are so sensitive to energies, there can be so many things that we can look towards, and many of them are really working with higher dimensional energetic forms that are able to work with things that are beyond the physical dimension. And this is working with your beliefs, working with your thoughts, working with your emotions, working with all of the higher dimensions that you are picking up on and that you have access to, and really working with restructuring your reality to best enable your higher self to express and create what it is that you have really chosen to come here to be a part of this very, very transformational time. So when we look at some of the impacts of having, for example, entities and AI entities and different things of that nature, when we look at how can we best protect ourselves. Again, I have been making a lot of videos calling in white light spheres of protection as well as a Merkaba. And for example, this can also be transformed. We can also transform this into a higher type of protection by, for example, imagining a beautiful, expanded, for example, column of white light that's flowing down from Source Creator, connecting to the earth, and almost as though we are this beautiful tree of white light, and these white light spheres from this vertical pillar of light are flowing all around us, creating this vortex and moving that energy down through us, rooting to the earth. This is something that I just really got a vision of just as I was speaking about this topic. And this is something that, again, I believe the more we give ourselves space, the more we connect with that element of space, the element of also air, connecting with that element of space can allow us to then create new once we've given ourselves space and then looked at what has been created from a higher perspective. So again, with regards to doing and work clearing AI, this is another thing that we can work with higher dimensional energies and clear AI at a faster rate. And what I mean by this is we can work with etheric crystals and etheric geometry, sacred geometry, and we can do that to enhance the energies of life on this planet for this new golden age. And we can do that in a variety of ways by projecting white light pyramids, by placing etheric white light energy spheres on the grid to enhance the energy. And what we're really doing is setting that intention. It is all through intention and working with obviously the Creator, providing that energetic support to humanity, to all of life, to the 5 elements, so that humanity is really embodying that beautiful, thriving, planetary, harmonious, loving connection to one another and to all of our multidimensional parts. So I hope that this information helped, and once again, if you do feel like you have an entity on you that, again, if you are very, very sensitive to energies and want to learn more about that form of spiritual protection, I've made lots of videos on this topic. And once again, briefly, what I do is every morning I ask God Source Creator to provide me with the highest universal protection, placing a white light energy sphere around me for all of today, providing me with the highest